Hey folks, I just got this email and I want to show you how to spot a scam. Now, I haven't really looked through this email, but it just looks suspicious to me. And so we're going to dive in and I'm going to walk you through some steps to determine to see if this is a scam or not. There's a lot of scam that's happening in the government contracting market, especially many of you who are newer companies, and there are scam artists out there and they're looking to find um, vulnerable and unseasoned businesses and try to take advantage of you. And so, this episode here, we're going to see how we can spot a potential scam. And my suspicion is that this email that I just received here is someone who is trying to get you to order products for them, and they're not going to pay you after you ship the products to them. So let's dive in and let's talk about why I think this email here is a scam. Now, at the very end, as I'm going through this, we will know exactly if this is a scam or not. So stay tuned. Let's watch this episode together here. So I got this email and it came from the MBDA, right? If I look at this here, it's from Mr. Dennis Smith, the procurement director of the U.S. Department of Commerce with the MBDA. So everything looks real. There's a phone number here. There's an email address that says Dennis Smith at MBDA Gov. Now, the first thing is it came into my spam folder. So that means they're sending this out to a lot of people. So that's the first thing that not just, not everything that goes to your spam folder is a scam, but highly suspicious. But here's how I know that this is a potential scam. This domain name here, you see it says mbdagov.us. And then the other thing is this here. It is sent through a email service that is .br. Now BR is Brazil. So if you see something like this, it says .com, so you think, oh, .com is regular. No, the last extension is .br. So the first thing I want to validate is, what is BR? So country code BR. So BR is, for domain name purposes, BR is Brazil. So Brazil, wow. Okay, so why would the MBDA, which is based out of out of Silver Spring, Maryland, be sending an email through a domain server in Brazil? So that's the first thing that is a major red flag. Now, also, the domain name says MBDA Gov. So most of the time when you see Gov, you say, "Oh, it's from the government." .us. So you think, "Oh, it's the United States." But I'm gonna show you a technique on how to see if this is legit or not. So I'm gonna copy the domain name, and then I'm gonna go to a web service called whois.com. WHO is.com, whois.com. And don't search it here, search it up here. Search it up here. So I'm gonna paste it here, mbda.gov, mbagov.us. I'm gonna hit who is. Now look at this here. This domain name was registered in about a few months ago. 2024. The MBDA has been around since 19 since the 1970s. So why would they just register their domain name last year? Another major issue, right? Another major red flag. And if you come down here, the name is Googman Aku. I have no idea who this person is. The company is Blue Wave. Now, Birmingham, Alabama, but it says that they were out of Brazil. So a lot of different red flags that's happening here. Now I'm gonna come back here. So I've shown you a few things, right? One is it's from Brazil. Two is they just registered this domain name a few months ago. Now I'm going to read further in here, and it says the U.S. Department of Commerce (MBDA) invites proposals from qualified experienced firms for a contract to supply computer equipment and peripherals. Okay, everything looks fine. Please find below the specification details. We can send the attached PDF file. Kindly review the requirements. Provide us the best price available. Similar configuration may be considered. We request that you send me your quotation no later than the due date indicated, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a little deeper to see if uh, Dennis Smith is a real person. Now, here's what scammers will do. They will actually use a real person that works for the MBDA. Sometimes they will use a real name, but if you call the phone number, it's a fake person that will answer, right? So I'm going to check to see if this person is real. So I'm going to copy all this here and I'm going to paste it. Just search it in general. Ah, whoa, check this out. There is a real Dennis Smith, right? And I'm going to click on this here. So someone is fronting to be the real Dennis Smith. Now they can get his profile anywhere online, right? And so there is a real person called Dennis Smith. And if I come back, right, see the website is mbda.gov, not mbda.gov.us, right? So this is the official government website, and this website here is mbda.gov.us. This is not the real website. This is a fake domain name here. So now I can confirm that this is a fake domain name. Why? Because the real domain name is mbda.gov. Then but they're faking the real Dennis Smith because they're saying that they are Dennis Smith, right? They're saying, hey, they're the real deal here. So my suspicion is right that they're faking to be the real person. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the address to see if they're actually using the real address here. Okay. So the address is here. Now, again, it's potentially the real address. It may not be the real address. We don't know at this point, right? So I come in here and I'm going to see in here MBDA 10750 Columbia Pike, Silver Spring, Maryland. So everything looks legit here. Now, if I come in here, right, the phone number is 301-841-8145. Let's double check the phone number. Ah, look, the phone number does not match. Now, they did use a 301 number, but the phone number doesn't match. In fact, I'm going to actually call this number to see who answers. You guys want to see who answers? And when I call, I'm not going to ask for Dennis Smith. I'm going to ask for Denise Rogers. Or I'm going to ask for, I'm going to use a different name than Dennis Smith to see if they will answer that. Because I'm going to call, I'm going to say, I just got an order from them. And I want to provide a quote to see what they say. All right, so let's do this here. So I'm not going to use my main phone number. I have a secondary phone number that I don't use for much, so that it doesn't necessarily show up as. Or for some of you, if you want to test it out, use a Google number, one of your Google numbers. So I'm going to call Dennis Smith, and I'm going to say, let me see, let me think through what I'm going to say when I call them here. 301 859 4905. It's ringing. I'm going to pause there until
The person you are trying to reach is currently unavailable. Please leave a message after the tone.
All right, so they didn't answer. Now, here's why it's suspicious, right? I call this number and it's the person I'm trying to reach is not the MBDA, right? Now I'm gonna call the actual MBDA office. So let me go to the National Region Supply Diversity. That's not them. So I'm gonna go to the MBDA. Let me go to the actual Dennis Smith, right? And I'm gonna call their phone number. All right, so this is the actual office here. So the address is 10750, even though they use the same address here. I'm going to call this phone number here to see what the difference is, because that one just says the person you're trying to reach is not available. Let me call the real number and see what that is. 301 242 5320.
You have reached the automated attendant for Kelly Government Solutions, supporting the National Institutes of Health. Our normal office hours are Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. If you know your party's extension, please dial it at any time.
All right, so that's the MBDA. That is their voicemail, which is very different from the other voicemail. So another red flag, right? So coming back, let me look into this here. I'm gonna dive deeper into the order here. Now I'm not gonna download it. I'm just gonna do a quick view here because I don't necessarily want down PDF. Potentially there may be some risk with that. So I'm looking through this here. They've used the logo. The logo is a little pixelated, so it may not necessarily be the real logo, or they may not have the original source. They probably just copy it from the internet or something like that. And it says net term 30 days. Now, when the government is buying, they normally don't do net 30, right? They put this out for bid, and it's not necessarily set up as a net terms 30. You submit your quote. And the government does not normally just do a one-page quote like this here. If they're going to buy this here, so what they're looking for is they're looking for 50 ThinkPad, and let me look at to see approximately what ThinkPads are going for. Now, that's another red flag. I'll share my thoughts on that in 1 second. ThinkPads are made by Lenovo. And so ThinkPads are going for about, let's see, they want 1X Gen 12. I'm going to go to shopping. So approximately $1,700. So that's what ThinkPads are going for, about $1,700. Now here's what the scammer doesn't know. For those of you who are watching this here, who owns Lenovo? Who owns Lenovo? Where is Lenovo? ThinkPads used to be owned by IBM, which is a US based company. So let's do another digging, right? Who owns Lenovo? Oh, what? Lenovo Lenovo, right? Lenovo is a Chinese multinational technology company. Now, why is this an issue? The issue is the government will never buy a product or a computer from China from a Chinese manufacturing company. That is called the Trade Agreement Act, right? Trade Agreement, or we call it Act, right? We call it TAA. So, Trade Agreement Act is companies that have agreed in terms of certain trade compliance with each other. So, under the Trade Agreement Act, there are countries that are compliant. And so, TAA compliant designated country list. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look for China in here. China is not a compliant country. So this scammer, they're buying a Lenovo product that is made in China and the company is Chinese owned. Products that are not part of the Trade Agreement Act cannot be sold to the federal government. So that's another major red flag. Why would the US government buy a computer that is owned by a Chinese company? So so we've seen a lot of red flags with this already. This scammer, they don't fully understand. They understand enough to create this fake order here, but here's my hunch. When you send this order in, and because I've seen this for many times, not this specific scam here, but similar scam like this here. When you submit this quote in, you're going to email it, right? You're going to email it back to this company, to this person, Dennis Smith, who's not the real Dennis Smith. You're going to send an email back and say, "Hey, I am," you're going to sign this quote here. You're going to send it back, and you're going to put your pricing in here. You're going to put your pricing here and your total, and let's talk about how much what this scam total value of the scam is. So they want 50 and it's about $1,800 each. So this is a $90,000 order. And you're going to say, "Oh man, the government wants to buy 50 laptops from me and I'm going to make $90,000." So you're going to reach out to the company. You're going to say, "Hey, I want to order this from you because I'm selling to the government," and they're going to give you a price. You're going to sell it to the government or supposedly sell it to the government. And when you call back, and because here's what's going to happen, when you reach back out to this person by emailing this person back, or you might call this person because they didn't even take my call. And that so we some I don't know why they didn't take my call. I was hoping they would take my call so that we can actually talk to the scammer uh, live. But when you send this back, they're gonna say yes, ship it, and they're going to tell you not to ship it to this address. They're going to tell you to ship it to a warehouse or a different address. And so that's the other way you're going to know that this is absolutely a scam. You once, if you didn't know it was a scam, you're going to send in this quote, and they're going to say, "Oh, thanks for providing us a quote. Congratulations, the MBDA have chosen your company as the awardee of this contract. So please send it to us at this address, and then we will pay you." Right? So the scam is this here: you buy the laptops, you send it to an address that is not this specific address here, because they're not going to tell you that up front. Everything's going to look legit until the time is time for deliver. Then you're going to deliver it to an address that is not the real address of the MBDA. And then you ship it, they receive it, they put it into their truck, and they're gone. And then you're going to call Dennis Smith. You're going to reach out to them. At some point, this email is going to be not effective anymore. They're going to close down this email account. And then you're going to reach out to Dennis Smith, and Dennis Smith said, "We never placed an order." And so now you've lost $90,000 of laptop and you're left empty-handed. So that's a scam. So be very careful with scammers. They will use domain name that looks very real. They will use real people's name, even though they themselves is not Dennis Smith. They're just faking to be Dennis Smith. Everything looks legit, but based upon all these different red flags, you know, and we know, and I can confirm to you that this is not real. And so if you get an email from a supposedly government organization, agency, or it could be sometimes they pretend to be a university, sometimes they pretend to be a city, a county, or in this situation, they're pretending to be a federal agency, the MBDA, part of the Department of Commerce. Be careful, avoid these scams here. And if you yourself have been impacted by scammers, let me know. I'm here at the Government Contractors Association. We look out for these type of things. And when I saw this here today, I said, you know what? I need to do my civic duty, create this video here, and let you guys know that there are scammers out there trying to take your hard-earned money, especially for some of you who are new in the government market, and they're trying to get you to spend money with the manufacturer, sell them the product, and now you have to pay the manufacturer. And you say, well, it was a scam. No, you still have to pay the manufacturer because they deliver this product on your behalf to this fake person that's pretending to be Dennis Smith with MBDA. So if you yourself have been impacted by this, reach out to me. Reach out to me and let me know that you've been impacted. My email information is in the description area. And let me know that you've been impacted by a similar scam or maybe a different type of scam, but you were still impacted as a government contractor. Love to hear that. And maybe we can do a more lengthier and a more exhaustive how to avoid scams in the government contracting market. Thanks for watching this here, and I will see you in another episode. Take care.